Now I have sound.
Now you have sound.
Now I have sound. Welcome to live. If you're wondering if is this live right now, it is.
See the big button at the bottom of the screen. Live.
Live. How's everyone doing this evening? I hope you're ready to get your art on. I know I'm throwing you a curveball. I could tell by the number of dislikes this video got before it was ever broadcast
Oh, no.
that I threw you a curveball. Goodness gracious, some opinions on that. I just thought we'd do a little watercolor. It didn't, I didn't say we'd just be all watercolor all the time. But I was on vacation in California, and, I always like to process through everything that I'm going through. And I ended up really kind of doing this Galaxy Wolf and this Red Riding Hood narrative. I was thinking on this idea about how, we persevere for the people that we love. We go into great danger. We face, Red knows the woods are full of wolves, right? Yeah. And she's still going to go because her grandmother needs her. And I was thinking how, in my life right now, that's kind of like that. I've got to get up every day and face the wolves because my family needs me and my community needs me and I make art. And so that's where my Galaxy Wolf came from. And then a bunch of people asked if I would teach it on YouTube. But I thought, well, I could.
You could.
So I will. And now I'm gonna.
Awesome.
If you're still here. I'm going to show you how I did this. So this is my Galactic Wolf with red inside and her little flowing cape. I want you to know I did this on my block of watercolor from Strathmore. I really,
It's
really,
upside
really...
down.
Huh?
You turned it upside down.
Well, that's because I
There you
drew it
go.
upside down. See?
Okay.
Did it. I really recommend 140-pound paper or higher because that really fixes a lot of problems that people have in watercolor. The higher grade, higher weight your paper, the less grief your paper gives you. It's really kind of a direct back and forth relationship. In fact, sometimes I think the paper is more important than the paint in this particular case. I'm kind of wondering right now, because you've got the live community here,
Oh, yeah.
how many people think that watercolors are really hard, much harder than acrylics, and really challenging to do?
That's a weird question.
I'm just thinking, well, because I had a test student here, so I was hearing her thoughts and feelings. Our very own Flame Gremlin is here in the background, Peanut Gallery, and so we were kind of going through the lesson before the lesson, because I just wanted to know what she was thinking and she was feeling, because I had access to her, whereas I don't have access to you.
Pre-show. But there's lots of yeses and I do's and me's and hands raising and Sherpettes jumping off the edge of their seat with their little hands raising in the air going, me, 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 me.
So I think watercolor, sometimes when we switch media, it really trips up a lot of artists. I think because the order of operations, remember that for math, order of operations?
Yep.
It's a little different. So I'm just going to tell you the steps. And then like everything else we do on the channel, once you know the steps and we do it together, you're going to be sitting at home with a painting going, oh, I am talented. All right, so your first step, and many of you have already done this, is to sketch the design on your paper or trace it on. If you're going to trace it on, my method is to just put some graphite on the back of the traceable that I provide to you. It's in the description below. Tape it down, and then you just draw over it with a pencil, and magically on the paper, the image is transferred. I did this with Flame, with the exact traceable that I gave you guys.
Yeah.
And she's getting an incredible result. We'll have to post that later. And because we worked with her, I have so many good tips. The other thing I want you to have is 2 cups of water, 1 cup of water to be clean, and 1 cup, I don't know where I'm looking, 1 cup of water that will be dirty. I'm using the Core by Golden watercolor set.
Oh, yeah. Those are really pretty.
I think you could do this with like Crayola watercolors or any watercolor set that you have. The colors I'm going to be using are, I'm going to be messing around with the Hansa yellow and some yellow. I'm going to be messing around with the yellow ochre, a little Payne's gray, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, quinacridone magenta, and peril red light. Right? So just a simple run of colors. First thing once you think about on your watercolor as you're sketching it in is where's the white?
Where is the white?
Where's the white? How do you do that?
Is this a trick question? I don't know.
It is. It's the first thing. The white is the paper, so you don't mix white into your watercolor.
So they don't have any white pigment? You don't have like white?
This first thing freaks
Really?
people out. Yeah. Now we're going to do our stars instead of with Frisket. I'm going to.
We're gonna play camera tag first.
We're going to either do it. You can do it with either acrylic paint or paint pen. The reason being is I remembered with my last watercolors that I have a Frisket allergy. And I didn't buy that cool tool Lindsay recommended. Lindsay recommended a cool
power
tool.
eraser.
The power eraser for rubber
drafting.
eraser picker-upper.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it, so paint
You forgot
pen.
to.
And honestly, that's something that you probably have. You have paint pen, you have any of those pens. This will work. So the first thing that we're going to do on our wolf, all sketched in, and I don't know if you can zoom. Can you zoom?
I can. Yeah, I can come over there.
Okay. All right.
This is not Robot Cam, but yes.
Where is Robot Cam? Robot Cam, I miss you. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to get, this is my Hansa yellow. I'm going to get just a little bit of it. Right? And I've kind of already wet it. Watercolors are interesting because you can open them or get them going again by just wetting them. So even though these are like on my palette forever and ever and ever, I can get back into them. You notice I'm adding just a ton of water with this little detail brush.
Actually, you're
See
just
that
a little bit. See, we're
little
really
puddle
centered.
of water?
Yeah.
All right, that's what I'm doing is I'm creating a little puddle of water, and I have a very light pigment load on this brush. These are just the packages I got from Michaels. And
Cool.
I'm going to come in on the inside of her face, and I'm going to put a highlight. This yellow, and the reason I'm going to do this first is in watercolor because the paper is our white. I have to paint my lightest colors first.
Gotcha.
So whatever's the lightest on my painting, I have to paint that first. I'm going to paint maybe a little kind of nice highlight on the outside of her cloak. Because she's got this little cloak. Maybe the candles lit that. Maybe a little bit in her hair.
And could you spin that palette around so that the color you're working is in the upper right-hand corner? Oh, perfect. That way we
Awesome.
can see
Thank you,
great.
babe.
Yeah.
I'm going to also kind of make a little circle around my candle light flame here. And I'm using the paper to be the white. Now, something to think about, it's not as important on this one, but in watercolors in general, when you do your pencil, do it light. Sketch it light so only you can see it, like it's a secret pencil. Flame and I were talking about that, secret pencils. Imagine that the paper is sunburned. You know, whatever, it's screaming. Be gentle with it. And maybe there could be a little light on the hand right here and a little light under the candle. And you can put a little of the yellow there. And that's all we're going to do there. Now I'm going to get this nice little number 8 kind of bright. And I'm going to get it wet with my perfectly clean water. This is the water I'm not going to rinse my brush out in because I need it to be clean. And I'm going to paint, well, that wasn't clean. I was playing earlier. I'm going to be painting the paper.
So we have so first of all, we have a huge community out here with us today. We have over 220 people, and there's a lot of little brushes, and the chat is just rocking away over here. So I wanted to say hi to Little Brush Raven.
Hi, Raven.
And Little Brush Stray Kitten.
Hi, Stray Kitten.
And oh my gosh, there's so many people out here. So first I want to say thank you to all of our moderators who are out here, of course, helping us out. And I see, Kim's here in the studio, or Kim Sims
so
here, and Donna
today.
is
I haven't
here.
really shared any watercolor with you guys.
And Lisa's in the studio. And Ghost is out there. So thank you guys
Ghost.
all for coming and
Yeah, I was
joining us
talking
today.
because I'm like feeling like I look okay today because I have better makeup than usual.
You have great
I feel
makeup
like I
on.
do.
You have really good makeup. And you're trying on the new...
I'm not a rep. I don't know her. Bunny does not talk to me. She hugged me once at a meet and greet.
But what is it? What kind of makeup is it?
Yeah, it's the Swamp Queen makeup palette in the new Texas Toast lipstick. And I got it at my Ulta, which is in Humble if you've been looking for it. And I've never been so excited about a lipstick in my life. I'm like, it's neutral and it's okay, this is not related to watercolor. Don't thumb me down. I already have a bunch.
But I'm just going on to Little Brush Graham. He's out there
Graham?
too. And you can keep going.
Okay.
And just so everyone knows.
Well, I just want to explain them what I'm doing before I start.
Okay. And so everyone knows we're not doing wishes on this one.
No.
But that's just because it's a watercolor and
They would show.
Yeah, they would show through on this.
But maybe you'd want to do that. Maybe what we'll do is you could write little words of wishes around your wolf. And you can always write it on the back of your paper.
Mm-hmm.
Just this one, because watercolor is translucent. It's washes. It's just wash after wash building up. You know, we're not going to paint this like gouache. We're going to paint this like watercolor. So we're going to get our brush fairly wet.
Okay.
This is much wetter than you would do for acrylic. And I'm going to paint the paper. One thing that helps you do this, and I'm going to trace inside the line. So it's like I'm painting it like there's pigment on it, but there's no pigment. And I'm going to go down probably to about here on his neck with this wet wash. And it's, so what I see mess people up is that they don't get enough water. Like when we were talking about that, like not getting enough water or too much. You don't want a lake, right? That would be too much water. Well, you don't want it soaking wet, but you don't want it to be like starving for water. You want the water to be sitting comfortably on the surface, not soaking in, and not puddling.
Gotcha.
So I have this here, and it should just be shiny. And I am very carefully painting inside the lines. Where I've put the water is the only place the paint will go. So I've gone around the eye here. I haven't painted to the outside. And I'm going to get something. I'm going to get my, I think I'll start with my quinacridone here.
Cool.
Just my quinacridone. I load that up on my brush. It's pulled in. These are multimedia brushes, and they soak in a little more pigment. And then I'm going to just drop the corner down and let it bleed.
Wow, that's really cool.
I'm going to just drop a little more down. I'm making my galaxy. These are my nebulas. And the surface tension of the water, see how it pulls the pigment?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's doing this.
Wow.
Every one of these wolves will be a little bit different. Now, I'm going to rinse this out in my water that I rinse in.
Okay.
That's my water for spreading. And I'm going to get some just ultramarine pigment. This is the ultramarine right here. And I'm going to come back and put the, stuff that the stars go in, my space.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just tabbing my corner. If I need to, ask it, I ask my watercolor very gently with just my corner where it's going to go. If it's a little puddled there, so that's giving me a little bit of trouble, but it's okay. It won't hurt me. I don't want to work it too much. It's better to let it be. Sing the Let It Be song in your head. All right, just pulling it along out into the fur, letting his little galaxy happen. Maybe I'm going to come over and get some phthalo blue, which has a very different kind of feel, as you can see, to the ultramarine.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the cores have a lot of pigment. So, in some sense, they do give me a little advantage here. We'll rinse it out really, really well. And I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to paint the next section down to her cape with water.
Cool.
This is all this is. It's very relaxing. If you've been very tense, this is a very almost meditative practice of art. As you break the barrier between your dry paper and your wet pigment, often you will see it pull in. This is about surface tension. And masters of watercolor are masters of the surface tension in their water. There's that guy I was talking to, Flame, that does a cat in a single brush stroke, and it's a beautiful cat. And I thought to myself, all cheeky like, that I too could do this cat in one brush stroke. And you know what I learned?
What's that?
That probably took 10,000 hours to do, and I hadn't put in the time.
Well, I'm going to say hi to Brandy, who's watching along with us today. She's in the hospital with us today.
She's where?
She's in the hospital watching along with us today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. I hope you're getting well. I wish you're getting well. I wish you're getting well. I hope you're enjoying our Galaxy Wolf.
And what pound paper are you using there?
This is the Strathmore 140 pound watercolor block 9 by 12 inches.
9 by 12 inches. Great.
And I don't paint on less than 140 pound.
Why is that?
Because it will wrinkle and buckle on me, and that just makes too much trouble, and I don't like to deal with it. Now I'm going to take some of my ultramarine and mix it over my quinacridone. It's going to give me some purple. Isn't that beautiful bleed?
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah, it just, I don't like to mess with this bleed. I like to just play into it and allow it to be. It's important to me to let some magic happen on the paper. So, maybe everyone gets a little different. Every wolf is just, he's a slightly different part of the galaxy. As Red goes adventuring to protect her family. So I'm sort of excited to see how many brave people try this watercolor thing. we've done some some watercolors on the channel.
Uh-huh.
But I know that this watercolor galaxy is fascinating to people. And, also the Red Riding Hood myth is just fairy tale.
Yeah. No.
Is just so fascinating to people. I know it is to me. Now I want to show you something. See, I've got too much water here.
Uh-huh.
I do this cool thing. Hopefully you can see this. I squeeze out my brush so that it's dry, dry, dry. And I dab it right here, and it picks up the water, and I squeeze it out again.
Oh, you're kind of
mopping
it up.
And I dab it, and it mops it up. So you could use a tissue, but that's how I do it. That's just a little thing that I do.
Now, which brand of paints are you using right now?
I'm using the Core watercolors. It's just, you know what? I got excited about them. They're a new invention in watercolor. I really like the Daniel Smiths. Push this forward. And the Core watercolors, and got excited about them at the Art Material Show, so treated myself to a set.
Uh-huh.
They are different in that even when they're dry, you can lift them from the paper with their medium. They're not permanent into the paper.
Really?
So if it goes really south for you, yeah, they were designed by people that do art conservation, and those guys were like, what I'd really like to be able to do is undo a mistake.
Huh.
And so Golden developed these with different ingredients instead of the gum Arabic. And so they're reversible.
Lacey is
Hi, Lacey.
She wants to know, can we water down acrylic and use them as watercolor?
Yes. All right, here's the deal. Definitive answer on this. All right, and you can go check this with Golden if you need the definitive answer. On watercolor paper, you cannot underbind acrylics. It is the canvas that is the surface. That's the ground in which they would underbind to. But on watercolor paper, they're a pigment, and they work, and they'll bind into the paper because the paper is what stabilizes it. If it works for watercolor, it will work for acrylics, even in washes.
Cool.
My mom made like 50 bazillion of those paintings, I'm sure.
Gotcha. So,
I'm sure.
No problem. That's.
Sorry.
Now, what are you using? Hot or cold press paper?
I like cold press paper. I have a lot of friends that are illustrators, and they prefer hot press paper because they like a smooth surface. But I like the way that cold press paper unpredictably and whimsically pulls color.
Gotcha. So what's the difference between hot and cold press?
The hot press in its manufacture, it's done with the steam, and the surface is like glass light and smooth. And the cold press is done just with pressure, and there's like a subtle texture to it. And that's fun.
I would have thought it was the other way, but
you would have thought what?
No, I just would have thought it'd been like the other way. It was reverse. I mean, like I had it backwards in my brain.
Well, if I'm wrong, internet will tell me.
I think that you are right. I mean,
I might be.
No.
I've been believing that for a while. So again, bless the internet; it will tell you.
I mean, like I didn't know what a filbert was before the show, but I mean, just like my common sense made me think that it was like.
Yeah, my favorite is I used to do like this 300-pound paper that I was really into. And I'm gonna just, you can do these in different colors. I just like doing the Galaxy Wolves, personally.
So Mona is.
Mona what?
I see. I was just looking over here in the chat, and Mona is on flame about something over here.
Mona and Flame?
Yeah, there's something going on.
What is Flame doing in the chat? She's like right there. She's right over there. I can look at her. She's right there.
So
what's this right there? Hi, Flame. How are you? You look really cute. Her hair looks really cute today. All right, I'm going to keep wetting the tail.
I'm going to have to come zoom out on there a little bit.
And finish the tail a little bit. You come zoom out while I'm wetting up the rest of the tail. So you can see how I've done it in sections to control how the water is, right? That's why I do it in these little sections when I'm trying to do this bleed into bleed effect. Because where the resist is, this is like the fence. This is the boundary. This is keeping my paint in, right? So by water painting in these lines, right? I'm just keeping the paint contained. A lot of you have asked me for wolves, so sort of also excited to do this because I've been asked for a lot of wolves.
I love space stuff, so this is
space wolf.
This is like so awesome. I want this, like over my telescope stuff. Like I want to hang this in my telescope stuff.
See how that pulls in beautifully? I feel like this is why the tutorials with watercolor are so enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because and the acrylic will do this if you water it down enough.
Well,
it'll also do the bleed.
I
Even
don't
with
have
the
a third
polymers.
camera angle today. I don't know why I pushed that button.
What?
I don't have a third camera angle today. I got two. I got camera 1 and camera 2.
Camera 1, camera 2. Did somebody ask?
No, but I pushed the wrong button and the screen went black.
Oh.
I had a button
I'm just grabbing
misfire.
the phthalo right there. See how nice the phthalo plays against the ultramarine?
It really is pretty.
I just let the two of them dance with each other.
I wouldn't have ever thought of mixing those two like that.
Well, they do a nice,
Yeah.
they do a nice interplay, you know. And then each like little wolfy guy, I can be like kind of, oh, I'll do a little more purple here. I can be a little more playful with it.
So
This is the phthalo in quinacridone I'm doing right now. Just putting it out there.
So Rusty had an interesting question.
I hope I have an interesting answer, Rusty.
What do you use to clean your palettes, both watercolor and acrylic?
Okay, well, this is an interesting answer. I do not clean my watercolor palette.
That's what I thought. I've never
Because
seen
all
you
of
do
this yummy
that.
paint is good forever. Unless it molds, which I've never had my paint mold. You have to look at other channels for how that happens. Mine never molds. I don't know why. But I just like, once this dries, it's good. And then I mist it. And then it's good again. So I don't clean it. I just perpetually work from it.
You just, yeah.
Like a crazy person. My acrylic palette, I can't say this is a green answer.
Yeah.
But what I do is I use Strathmore acrylic paper, palette paper.
Yep.
So it's like it's a specialized wax paper for acrylic paint, and then you paint on it, and you crumple it up and throw it away. Again, I didn't say it was a green answer.
Right. Well, no, that's
That's the truth.
But you know, watercolor. And so while you're going there,
I'm just gonna pull. I have too much water here, so I'm just pulling. See, here's another trick. I'm gonna say I pull out the brush, like I squeeze it like this.
Yeah.
Like I'm sizing it, and then I can come in and erase.
oh, neat! It just little vacuums it up.
And it just vacuums up my paint. So if I want to lighten it, that's another way of lightening your watercolor is to vacuum up some of the pigment, and then it lightens it.
Neat.
Stuff is just easy to work with. Watercolor is easy. They really are. It's just going the opposite way. It's like trying to walk backwards and say the alphabet. Seems really hard.
Oh my gosh, there's so many good questions coming in. So
Okay, I'm happy to answer questions.
All right. So while you're
I got to let some stuff dry for a second so I can answer questions for a minute.
how do you feel about salt effects in watercolor? And that's from Jalilo. And I'm sure I
my
know.
honest truth is, dude,
And,
I like them.
Does it destroy the painting?
If you ask a conservator, they feel like everything destroys the painting, and they're probably right because they go to school for 8 years and they really know what they're talking about. As a creative being, sometimes I have to put rock salt in my watercolor because it's really cool, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a good medium, though, for this set that does that effect. Right? And like some of the cool granulations, like when you look at the Daniel Smith line, they have special granulating stuff, and it will give some similar awesome effects.
Yeah.
But it is satisfying. Let's be honest. It is satisfying to put some awesome rock salt down and watch it soak up. But of course, you've just salted your paper. So salt is never good for the longevity of anything. Too fun, though, right?
Yeah.
Too fun. So there you are.
That's great.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. So there's a bunch more questions out here that I could
Okay,
just-
I've got
so
a little more drawing. I can
you have
just
a
take
little more
I can
drawing?
take another couple.
Okay. So
Don't click away. It's really good. I'm going to show you how to finish. You'll be blown away on how good this is.
Well, why can't you use acrylic brushes for watercoloring? If you're using, wait.
Okay, can't is such a strong word. What it is it's super not ideal. So a great acrylic brush will not hold enough water to have fun at watercolor. A watercolor brush, right, will pull in water and pigment in this sort of psychic symbiosis kind of way and then dispense it in exactly the right moment. And that is why watercolor artists get really spiritual about their brushes and think that $500 for a brush is not unreasonable, because they will die with that brush and they will bequeath it to a member of their family. Whereas, you know, an acrylic brush has only got a short lifespan. Also, sometimes if your acrylic brushes aren't really clean or there's something in it, it can get in the water. I mean, there's some archival studio practice stuff, but really functionally, the bottom line is the way the brush loads water. What makes a great acrylic brush doesn't really make a great watercolor brush. These are multimedia brushes, though, so they technically could do soft body acrylic paints or like kind of less expensive oil, or a watercolor, and you just choose which one you're going to do. But don't like go oil watercolor, because you're never going to get that stuff out of the brushing up for the watercolor.
Gotcha.
Was it-
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
Okay.
Would
I mean,
would
we're
you
here.
Would you use finger paint palette paper or I should say, would you use finger paint paper for palette paper? There, I got that out. Lots of finger paint palette paper.
I haven't found it to be that resilient for what I do in my acrylic painting.
Mm-hmm.
But the honest truth is if I had it and I didn't have palette paper, dude, I had put aluminum foil over one of our dinner plates.
Gotcha.
So
So
you use what you got.
now, how do you keep the paper from buckling even after taping it down? Thicker paper.
Thicker paper.
There's
There's some tricks. Probably for that trick, you're gonna want to. Steve Mitchell, Mind of Watercolor,
Yeah.
is a really spectacular watercolor channel. That guy is on point. He has some skills. Also, the Frugal Crafter has some skills.
Yes.
But my thing has always been, I don't excessively water that, like this is a block.
Right.
So I don't have any problems with that, because blocks tend not to wrinkle. I pay more for them, and they're harder to get. But a block this is essentially a pad of paper that's all glued down with this little tiny opening. See it right here? I don't know if you can see it right there. That's not glued. And then I got to get in a little knife, and then I cut the sheet off.
Gotcha.
That's how I do that. I don't know. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that is. That's very helpful. Okay. So more questions, or do you have?
I'm gonna get into my gray. This is Payne's gray, and I'm gonna get a Dove gray. So see how I'm gonna come to the outside of this. I'm gonna get my water.
Okay.
I'm gonna come right on the outside. I also have a mister when I feel like this is getting dry, and I open it back up. Some watercolorists, dude, they'll use like better water. Like I've seen them use Avion and stuff. So like really pure water. I'm not really worried about mineralization or any of that. You can take this as far as you want to. I'm going to paint first, because we're always talking about how watercolor has to be the lightest color first.
Yeah.
This Dove gray on her face, and here. I'm leaving the lips untouched. I'm not painting the lips.
Cool.
And then I might come get a little ochre and gray, like a little gray and some ochre over here, and just kind of do a nighttime skin tone on her arm. Just a little bit to say this is her little hand, that she's clutching her little candle. And then I'll get a deeper pigment load of Payne's gray.
Mm-hmm.
And under her hair here, a little bit under her jaw. I'm just touching the corner of the brush. That's how I control how much pigment's coming out, is how lightly and delicately I'm engaging the paper.
Gotcha.
And I might come like on the outside here, and definitely could probably pigment this corner a little bit. So see how that creates
Yeah.
some depth here to the piece, but leaving the light there so it's just kind of varied. Rinse that out. I might get I think this
I'm going
is
to come
a
close up on that. Hold on just a
burnt
second.
sienna, and I'm going to just pull a little burnt sienna down to imply that she's got some hair that's hidden under her little robe here that we're seeing, and maybe a little more burnt sienna. That's her hair that we're seeing kind of peeking out. And if I'm worried that I got too much pigment down, I just rinse out my brush, squeeze out the excess, and watch this. I'm going to push back and I lift it a little bit. And the other thing, you can just go back and wet it, and then vacuum it back up, and it'll pull pigment back out. It's kind of like a watercolor version of erasing. Can't do it a ton, and you can't do it on not good paper. That'd be another reason to use really good paper, because it gives you more options to rethink your position in life. Because sometimes in watercolor, you're like, I need to rethink my position in life. So I like that there. I'm going to start her cape.
Okay.
I'm going to start her cape. So I'm going to, just kind of wet a little area. And I'm going to get this Peril Red, which is a great exchange in our our acrylic world for CAD. It was recommended by an expert in paint, which I also am, but this person's even more of an expert. Because there's always an expert greater than you. Nothing to be intimidated about or worried about when you run into somebody that knows more. Just try to get all the good tidbits of information while you can.
Yeah.
Pump them. Pump them for good info when you run into somebody that really knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, some artists, they don't want to talk to them because they don't want to seem foolish. I'm like, I'm going to pump them for the good info. You know, because I'm not going to go to school in Italy for 8 years to draw.
Yeah.
You know, so if you run into somebody like that did it, man, I want to know what they're up to. I'm going to get some of my crimson that I have out here. It's kind of deep. Oh, it's like a berry color, isn't it?
Yeah.
Deep, nice pigment load on this. I'm going to kind of bleed this in among the Peril just to give this fabric some dimensionality. You know, pull it along, enjoy that. Enjoying my little cape. Get some more of this and maybe just do a wash or glaze. This is how you can glaze in watercolors, to put thin, translucent coats of color down where they're sort of showing one into the other.
All right, I'm going to back out just to camera just a little bit.
You back out, and I will stop painting. So you back out a little bit. We're going to have to get back into the face in a little while. Thank you, John, for pulling in, because I know that helps everybody see, and the more you guys can see, it's kind of like the more you know.
And the more you know. Now I just need a rainbow to fire out.
Got this little layer of pigment down that I like, right? Putting this little layer of pigment down that I'm enjoying. You know, oh, some exciting yellow got in my paint there. That created an exciting moment. A lot of times when people are in watercolor and stuff unexpected happens, they like really panic. And people that have been doing watercolor a long time, they're like, oh, that's exciting. You just kind of hang in with your paper. It's like instead of you doing your painting creates you. Kind of how I feel about it spiritually.
That's really cool.
It's just sort of weird, but.
Now, a lot of people are asking about watercolor pencils.
Love them.
Yeah, you use those occasionally.
Yes, I do. I have some very nice sets.
And we saw the coolest watercolor pencil demo at NAMTA, didn't we?
Yeah, I still have that palette.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty exciting. I'm just coming along here. So you can see where it's dry, it keeps a very hard line. Like I can dry brush, right? But where it's wet, it bleeds in and softens. Fun stuff that you can do in watercolor. I'm just going to add some water to this pigment I already have on my brush and finish out her hood here. I'm just working out Miss Red's hood, since it's very key to who she is. I think very, very key. I don't know what you think, but I think very, very key.
I think it's really
and
cool.
I'm going to stop her right here because this is a white dress that she's wearing in the narrative of this painting. But I'm going to carry some of the folds of the red. I'm going to pull it into this space here.
So Rainey just asked a question that I had been pondering on doing.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's really cool. She was asking maybe one day Cinnamon could do a 360-degree live stream so we can see the studio.
I would dig that so much.
And we were talking about putting a 360 camera in for the live studio audience.
I'm just saying, hey.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
I'm saying, hey.
We'll have our main broadcast going too, but we would throw that in here as well. So we'd have a second.
I'm just adding some of this really punched red for her cape.
That's cool.
Right? It's just really beautiful.
Are you just going to be working the cape for a little while? Because I can come zoom back in on that.
I mean, I'm going to be working on her here for a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to come frame that in a little more.
Okay, you come frame that in for a little more. And I'll let you come and have that frame. Because we're really down to her dress, some lips, a candle, and then I'll move it down for the eye.
Is that good?
Yeah. While I've got this delicious red, I'm going to move this down where I've left this eye. I really felt like the eye should be red. So I'm going to pull this delicious red into the eye while I have it there. You know.
Oh, that's really good.
You know, just because I really wanted to, and I have this really good red that's happening. And I've I'm pulling this out into the cape.
You have to go
But
a
I don't
little
want to
further.
work it too much. One of the things that gets away from everybody in watercolor is the temptation to work it. I'm going to pull this detail brush. Here's a wonderful thing.
You have to scoot her up in the frame a little bit.
Okay, watercolor brushes,
Yep.
they'll hang with you a long time, and as long as you just kind of take care of them at all, they do really well by you.
So
I'm going to make little rosebud lips here. Can we see those?
We can.
And then I'm gonna make her candle that deep, crazy crimson color that comes in this set. But you could pick any berry crimson that you have.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, I just want it to be that deep, coagulated blood color. I know that sounds gruesome, but it's where I was at the time. And I'm gonna just take a little of the yellow I have in that pearl red and kind of make sure that some of my candle, there's some glazed candle story happening around. So glaze like it's a thin color. It's not, just a little pop.
So Cindy asked a question. She's being very patient.
Oh, okay. I'm so happy to answer any questions. Anything I can do to help to make it easy and you guys take on a new medium, I'm excited to do.
Well, this is not medium related. This is what size hat do you wear?
I don't know. I don't even know how big my head is.
We don't. That's like maybe
you
that's
know. You're very hat familiar.
Well, I'm familiar with my hat, my head.
Yeah, I don't know my own head.
We can measure it later.
Dude, you know how it is when your mom, you're like, you just don't know things. I'm just creating a little shadow around the hand here, just to define that space. I'm going to come back and ink later, so I just need enough color here to define my story for later. Now I'm going to push down into her dress, which you don't have to move anything. You're going to measure my head? John is, okay, what you don't know is right now, John is measuring my head and I look like measurement Pocahontas.
For just a split second.
I'm going to take a little of my ultramarine and I'm going to take it over my Payne's Gray and blue my Payne's Gray just a small amount. And on her dress, I'm going to do just this thin, barely pigment loaded coat of like gray blue. Right? Just a little bit. See, because like her dress comes down into the wolf's legs. I don't know if y'all caught that in this story, but I really love the idea that she'd been swallowed by the wolf. I don't know. How many of us ever feel like we're just swallowed by what's going on in our lives right now?
Oh, I know.
But you have to keep going. You have to take care of the people. I know how many days you've gotten up with your Crohn's feeling terrible, feeling you got to take care of the people that you love. It's just what we do.
But you know what? I feel good about getting up and doing that stuff.
I do too.
I mean, like,
it's just heroic to me when regular people do that. It's just, do you know what I'm saying? It's like just heroic to me. I mean, absolutely no taking anything from the great heroes of the world that, really run into like gunfire in the face of danger. That's also incredibly amazing. But I think that there's a real honest heroism to just working 2 jobs and feeding your family. I think that is just as amazing.
Absolutely.
And when you don't feel well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chronic illness and chronic pain.
There's no medal for that, though.
No. That's real stuff, though.
Yeah, real stuff happening in the world. So I'm just doing this nice little space here. And then I'm going to come in with this gray. And I'm going to talk about the fabric folds maybe a little bit. I'm just going to put some shadows where I feel like the fabric folds would have some and create some creases of her dress coming down.
Yeah.
Right, so there's a little shadow coming down and another little shadow. These will be soft. There, she's got some little bit. And if I don't like it, then I can pull it up, do that squeeze out the brush thing and soften it. The trick was just don't overwork. And they're pulling it up. And again, this particular stuff has, interestingly enough, now you can zoom in out because I'm going to do stars.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ink, and then we're done. And we've done a Galaxy Wolf. Who's swallowed red. And I could, there's a couple ways you can resolve beautiful graphic pieces like this. I'll pull it down a little bit, and then you can, there you go, perfect. Is that, you can do this all with watercolor and not ink. I like sometimes the act of inking a piece. So this is a paint pen. This is Painter's Opaque Markers. It's a permanent pen. It has a nice paint load to it. And I'm just going to make sure it's putting out a bunch. So I'm just going to use it to dab out some stars. And some of them are bigger and I cluster them. It's a little different than my splatter technique.
Yeah.
You know, but I enjoy it. Also, sometimes just making some stars is very, very therapeutic. I could also take my liquid fluid white and do the same thing.
And, I want to real quick say thank you to everybody who's joined us today. I know we're getting close to the end of the show, and we had over 220 people here through the entire show.
I'm really hoping we see some watercolors out of this because, again,
we really love seeing these, and I want to see lots and lots and lots of these.
If you discover that this is your jam and you want to do more water media, we've got a few things. We've got some trees and some fun projects on watercolor if you search it on the channel. But also, Lindsay has like a ton of beautiful floral lessons.
Oh, yeah. Just a ton out there.
Yeah. Now, make sure that when you're doing your stars, one of the things I would totally suggest, you'll see me pushing my pen down and dispensing a little more ink, so some of them are a little bigger.
Yeah.
Make some stars smaller and some stars bigger, and try not to make rows or patterns. That would be some advice I would have for you. Sometimes it's hard to break up a pattern.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to randomize, but do what you can do. Do what you can do.
Now that's what I was thinking of earlier. Ian asked this, is can you do the dotting with white gouache?
Yeah. This you can do with white gouache. If you got some white gouache and if you got a dot that got away from you, again, use the wicking action of your brush. Pull that fluid out of there. See? I'm just getting the excess till it's a nice, reasonable thing. Yeah, you can absolutely white line this and work gouache. Over watercolors, you can do colored pencil, which is how, like, a lot of amazing artists on YouTube get tremendous effects. Don't be afraid to layer and play and have a minute with your piece. Not everything's got to be like a by the book, right or wrong thing. This is art.
Yeah.
You don't have to show what you don't want to show. You're only really answering to yourself here. Whatever else you've got going on in life that you're answering to, the good news is here. This is yours. Always. I think that's my favorite part. And your wolf isn't going to look like my wolf.
No.
That would be weird. It'd be weird to be like, why does your little wolf look like just like my wolf? No, there's going to be differences. They're going to have their own. When you buy a product that's handmade and it says there are differences in these products, this is made by hand. This is handmade by you. Just learn the techniques. Don't worry about, there's people like brushstroke in my brushstroke. And that's fun, and if that's great, but don't put pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that I'm making some bigger splots every once in a while. And this is how I get the sparkly star effect. John can tell you the astronomical reason for what happens.
What's that?
When you get the little star effect that I draw.
Oh, where you get the lines coming off the stars? Oh, yeah. That's because when you take pictures with telescopes that have what we call spiders in them, that hold mirrors in them. So when you have a compound telescope, those little spiders reflect light when you're taking long exposures, and they make those little lines.
So to do it, I'll draw a line as straight as I can up and one down. And then I like to do one to the angle, and I like to do one to an angle, and then one to an angle, and one to an angle. And then maybe one around. See that? And I'll do them to some small stars too. I'll do some stuff with small stars as well. So that it seems like some small stars are twinkling as well. Sometimes I have to get more paint to come out on my pen, but I don't worry. Not really that much of a worry. I just want to make sure that I'm making some twinkle in my universe. What?
Twinkle. I like that you're putting the twinkle in.
I don't know what's going on in anybody else's night sky. It's your space. I'd never come invade your painting, but my painting has twinkle. Your painting can have anything you want. One thing I'm doing that's not great is I've got a bracelet on. I'm getting it in my art. Don't do that.
Don't get bracelet in your art.
Don't get, and you may have to put a piece of paper towel or a paper towel or something to protect your art from your hand, you know.
And this is a paint pen and not a chalk pen, right?
This is a paint pen. This is actually called Painters, and I got it in one of those endless subscription boxes that I signed up for that I'm really like...
You have a mountain of subscription boxes.
Oh, it's just too much now.
We're going to climb the mountain of box.
I just don't even know.
It'll be good. We're going to do... We'll have to do a re-Sherpa-ceptioning here in our own studio.
No, so much boxes, babe.
That would be fun.
Okay. It's like a day talking to myself. It's so weird.
Well, you're not alone yourself. You got all 250 people out here with you, just hanging out with you, watching you put stars in.
It's true. I am just putting stars, but that's what we're doing right now. We're putting some stars in. We're twinkling our universe.
This wolf is full of stars. Brought to you by the Art Sherpa.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That's like my favorite little reference. Be full of stars. You know you're made of star dust. You might as well be full of stars.
We are all made up of blown up star bits.
Tyson DeGrassi being cooler than the rest of us just on any given day.
Well, yeah. Dude.
Guys, come on, he's so cool.
He's very cool.
He'd be like, you're too magical in your thinking. I'd be like, I am magical in my thinking. I believe that there's a disappearing gas station on Highway 10, so yes. And I've held that belief for years. All right, so when I've twinkled him up, and I feel really happy, and I'm going to show you something, like before I ink, you can even see that I did some different tonalities between these two.
Yeah, no.
And earlier today, I was going with Flame, and I was showing her how to do this, and we got to here, and this is how this one looked.
So you could do this with like hand-pressed paper or handmade papers or really anything like that?
All right, word on the handmade papers.
Yeah?
The hand-pressed papers, because I got that book. Do you guys remember the book? I got that book.
Yeah, yeah.
Put Daniel Smith's watercolor ground down first, and then it will work properly. But it does not. It's like painting a napkin otherwise.
Gotcha.
It's pretty, and I was optimistic, and I wanted it to be that so much, but it wasn't that. Oh, my goodness. Hey, John.
Yes.
Can you hand me my box of microns?
Absolutely. You got to finish penning that.
I got to pen it, and I don't have them, and there's a cup or a box, or that one from the trip is perfect. There should be something in there. So I'm just going to use a permanent, it's right there, a permanent inking micron pen, but any sort of permanent black ink with a nib that you can control is perfect. What is this? Oh, that's tiny. That's too tiny. Ooh. That's a brush that I've messed up. I don't like that. Wow, I'm just, all right.
You're not sharing with it. We can't
all right,
see what
so
you're doing.
here we go. I'm going through this list of pens that I actually have because I always carry pens on me to see if I'm... Why do I have the tiniest pens today in the world?
I don't know.
They're like the smallest nibs. There's a cup. Oh, it's on my desk out there. The cup of all the rest of the microns are out there. On the desk out there that I draw on. Look at my hands. They're just like a hot mess. All right. Cup of micron pens. So now we're cooking. I'm going to get this. I really like this Faber-Castell artist pen that's a brush because it gives me a delicacy and expression of line I very much like.
Yeah.
And a couple of places on the wolf, I'm going to very lightly just do some black lining to resolve and hold him in some hard spaces. Not everything on him. I want some loose lines as well. Some things I want to just really, really come and tell the story of. Like along his ear here. And maybe some of this rascally fur. The wolves in our woods. Can't be mad at the wolf. Wolf is just being a wolf. They doing what wolves do. I'm going to come down to red.
All right.
I'm going to remember to put the cap on my paint pen. There's an art tip you need. And I'm going to, in her face, and do you want to zoom in on that? Or I think we're okay. I'm going to outline her little jaw here. And just lightly along her chin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to be lining her. And then I'm going to come and just say, oh, here's some hair that you have. Here's a little nose shadow. Just a kiss of one. And let's come along this cape. make some line in the cape. And I'm going to come around her arm. I'm very light. I don't always even connect the line. It's so interesting. It's called an implied line. I don't always even connect it. Be sure to stay out of your star dots, which are not dried. And then I'm going to just very loosely go around her hood. I'm resolving the story here because she's the central figure and I want her to be seen and I want her to be felt. You know, when the viewer is looking at this piece, I want they to know that she's out there doing her little woody thing. Look, I'm coming along this edge. Hopefully you can see how light and timid and whimsical I am with my lines here. So I'm hoping that this inspires you and captures your imagination. It's a little different than what we do normally, but I'm hoping it's going to make you question like maybe some other creative things. See how I do that little squiggle there?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do a little dash here. I'm telling the story of this fabric. I want to show that this fabric is curved in. So I make this little curved line with diminishing lines. Right? This is all it takes to tell her story. Maybe I'll just very lightly just put the flame in. Can we feel her now?
Yeah.
Maybe here, along the back of his little wolfy tail. And then right here, along this back side, I will go ahead and gently sign it.
That's great.
And that's it.
That's fantastic.
That's how you paint the Galaxy Wolf. And I really hope that was kind of fun and exciting for you and accessible. I hope you don't let materials be a block to you doing it. You know, if you just don't have the right paper, try for some of the techniques. You can still learn the processes even if your media is fighting you a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't let anything stop you from your own creative truth. Just dive in and see how it works out and keep trying different stuff and check out those other teachers. And I'm going to see you for sure tomorrow to repair that canvas I broke.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I gotta fix it, so you're just going to come join me while I fix it.
Fix the canvas.
And I'll tell you how you can fix yours if you punctured a hole in your canvas. I'm going to see you guys at the easel really soon. I love you. Bye-bye.
Love seeing you guys. Bye-bye.